Hi everyone, it's Kate here, and I wanted to talk to you today about myofascial release and fascia, because the more I'm talking to clients about this, the more I'm sort of getting, what is it? Why should I have it? What's the benefit? So fascia is this absolutely incredible and amazing substance that we have in our body, and it connects everything, surrounds everything, and even goes down into the nucleus of every individual cell. It's like this amazing extra communication system that your body has, and it really forces us to look at our own human delineation of things and separation of things and categorization of things, because really what fascia says is your body is one whole system, you're all interconnected, you're all interlinked. There are no separations, and there are no these divisions that we see and as humans we make. Nature doesn't adhere to those. So it's really a fascinating substance. Physically, it does something again which is really fascinating. So it exists in multiple forms, the most common being either much more of a liquid fluid form where it helps joints move over each other, or muscle parts move over each other, or skin move over muscle. Excuse me. And the second thing it does is it adds a lot of collagen, and it starts to be a support system for the body. So if you hold a particular posture for a particular amount of time, your body will start in that place, the fascia will start to lay down collagen to support that posture. Which is why we say that if we've got like bad posture over time, or we've got hunched shoulders or that kind of thing, the fascia is actually supporting that. The other thing that happens is that fascia will start to support any posture held for any amount of time by laying down the collagen. So I don't know about you, but it's interesting to me to witness what animals and very young children do naturally. The kind of things that as humans we should probably be doing, but we've been taught out of or learn our way out of doing. And one of the main ones is stretching. So I don't know if you've ever seen like a young child wake up, especially babies, they tend to stretch like this, and they're in their little curl positions and they've got their arms up, they stretch when they wake up. And a cat or a dog, when they wake up, they quite often do this sort of thing. They stretch out a foot and they flick it and they do this kind of thing. And what this tells us is that if we want to increase our range of motion, so if we don't want the fascia putting down collagen and holding us in certain positions, which quite often reduces our range of motion, stretch. It's like the number one easiest, most innate thing to do to help get that fascia moving again, to help it become more elastic and fluid again. So stretch is my number one fascia tip. And it doesn't have to be a mad yoga stretch. It can literally be a morning stretch, you know? Now, if you know that you've got a dodgy thing somewhere that pops if you do too much stretching in too much of a direction, don't do it. Do the stretching that feels good to you. Listen to your body and stretch in the way that it wants you to, because that will be telling you where perhaps you've lost some range of motion because the fascia have tightened, and that you can stretch it out again. The other thing about fascia is that it really helps us with any sort of injury. If we bash into anything or fall on anything, if there's any sort of sudden impact, the liquidy type fascia will go hard very quickly to help absorb that impact and to protect the body. What this tells us again that is when we're working with fascia, we need to be really gentle with it. If we go in too hard, we're just going to actually cause it to have this defensive response, and for it to go hard in response, pushing against. We have to go with it, and we have to go slowly, and we have to move at its pace. So fascia is this amazing thing for all of life. We can take the learnings of fascia and apply it in so many places in life. I absolutely love it. But I also thought I'd give you a really practical demonstration of fascia. So I've got a ball here, and this is the middle of the day, and I have actually stretched. So the impact of this may not have been as much as if I'd done this first thing in the morning. And in fact, I have got videos of me doing this first thing in the morning if you want to find them on Facebook. But do this along with me and just see for yourself how interconnected your fascia is, how interconnected your entire body is, how just a pain in one area does not mean that that's the source of the pain or the only place in which we can help heal the pain. Your body is a connected whole system. So what I want you to do to start with is stand up and just touch your toes. So we're just going to literally bend over and see how far we can go. Now, like I said, this is the middle of the day for me, and I've been up and about and I've done my stretching, so I can actually get to the floor pretty easily. I have got a slight bend in my knee, that's fine, but this is where I can get to pretty easily without, I'm not straight. This is my natural thing. Now for you, you might be here, you might be here, it doesn't matter. The point is to note where you get to with ease. We're not forcing this stretch, we're just naturally seeing how far we can go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our foot and the sole of our foot here. This is where our plantar fascia is. Now most people have heard of plantar fascia because of plantar fasciitis. Itis means an inflammation, so we get pain here and quite often up our calves, into our Achilles and up our calves, and even up to the bum if we have plantar fasciitis, an inflammation of the fascia of the base of the foot. So the fascia is here, and like I say, it's all interconnected. So the fascia of the foot actually becomes part of the Achilles tendon, which goes into obviously the calf muscle and all the way up the leg. This is how we're all connected. Anyway, I'm going to take a ball. If you've not got a ball, just do this with your hands. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the ball gently on the base of my foot, on the sole of my foot. So I'm just going to do this and talk at the same time. So I'm just rolling this. Now remember, we're working with fascia. Fascia is a very different substance, but also probably exactly the same as every other thing in your body, from your muscles to your bones to your skin. So when we're working fascia, we're doing it gently. We're not trying to get in there and be painful. This whole idea of no pain, no gain is wrong. If you're in pain, your muscles and your body subconsciously contracts. And if we put in pressure on a contracted muscle or a contracted anything, we're going to cause more harm than good. We don't want pain. We never want pain. So let's just park this idea of no pain, no gain firmly over here and leave it well alone. We are gently rolling the ball on the base of the foot. We're working with the fascia. And if you recall, I said the fascia, if we go in too strong or too deep, the fascia will react to that with a hard barrier, defensive nature. So we're moving with it. We're going gently. It's fluid. We're not harsh on this. Go all the way up to the tops of your toes and come all the way down to the heel of your foot. Now, as you're doing this, even as you're doing this gently, you may notice areas that are a bit like, ooh, tender, a little bit sore. And I would question, how often do you pay attention to your feet? How often do you thank them for all the work they do, taking you everywhere, supporting you literally in your daily life? Your feet deserve a lot more attention than you probably give them. And this is one way to do that. Okay, so once we've done one, we're going to swap over and we're going to do the other. Exactly the same. Just giving it a nice roll. So when we have a fascia treatment, and I will always offer a fascial start to any back, neck and shoulder massage in particular that I do, and I recommend you take me up on that offer. When we work with fascia, we're getting these top layers moving and supple and gentle, and it helps us work deeper into the muscles eventually. The other thing to know about fascia is that if you're dehydrated, your fascia will be the first thing, or among the first things, to be affected, and it will harden up. It will lose its liquidy nature. It will start to harden, and again you can start to lose range of motion. This is another amazing reason why we say drink plenty of water and keep well hydrated. Your fascia is the first thing that will be affected. And obviously if your fascia is not working as a liquidy lubricant anymore, then you're going to start to get pain in joints and muscles, and you're going to lose motion. So when we say lose range of motion, it means perhaps you can't turn your head as much, or you can't move your arm as much, maybe you can't bend as much. So things become tighter and constricted. The whole point of fascia is it's a freeing, it's an opening, it's a way that the body flows. So this is what fascia is all about. We're looking at flow and ease and support in the best possible way. So when a fascia treatment is happening, it's a very different experience to a massage, because we're going in slowly and gently and we're working with the fascia, not against it. So I've done 2 feet there, hope you have as well. And what we're going to do now is literally just repeat what we did before. So we're going to stand up. Hope you can see my toes. Oh no, yes. I'm just going to bend forward. You're just going to see what happens. Okay, so it's, like I say, it's possibly not as dramatic as it would have been. Well, it's definitely not as dramatic as it would have been in the morning. But I hope you can see that, again, without straining, and yes, I do still have a bend in my leg, my arms have gone down much further, like the backs of my hands are now on the floor. And I hope when you did it, you could see an impact as well. Now what this is showing us is we've literally just worked gently with the fascia on the base of the foot. But what's happened there is that in loosening that up and increasing that fluidity of that fascia, we've actually increased the range of motion all the way up the leg into the back, and that allows us to have a greater forward bend, a greater bend of motion. But I didn't do anything with your back, didn't do anything with your glutes, haven't done anything with your hamstrings, or your quads, or your calves. All we did was work with the fascia, and we didn't go in deep, so we're not even really getting into the muscles, just the fascia of the base of the foot. And this is why myofascial release and how myofascial release is so beneficial and has these effects. I have had clients who have told me, and I've only been working on their back, and it's only been 20 minutes at the beginning of a regular massage, that they can feel tingling or release down their legs or down their arms or even into their head. This is quite normal. As a practitioner, I often feel energy and areas of stuck energy or areas that are tight as heat. So I quite often can work in areas based on how hot they get. And sometimes as my client, you will feel equally quite hot areas from my hands. And this is areas of stagnation or areas of tightness or areas where energy has stayed. Because to get a little bit woo on this, the mind body is connected. The emotion body is connected. These are not separate things. Just as the fascia teaches us that we're all one and we're all one being and we're all one connection, and that right from the nucleus of every cell all the way to every structure, whether it be your skeletal or your muscular or your fascial, it's all connected, it's all one, it's all communicating. Well, the same with your mind. Your mind and your body are not separate. So you might have no physical injury or ailment, and yet you've got a really tight shoulder or a really upset stomach, and perhaps you've actually got a lot going on in your mind and you're really stressed about something. That doesn't surprise me, because the power of the mind to affect the body is huge and has actually been proven. This isn't just me being a little bit weird. There are people who are proving this. This connection between the body and mind is real. Equally, if you've had an injury and it's limited your mobility or your ability to do something you really enjoy, you can start to find that you're getting down, depressed even, because you can't do the usual things you want to be doing. Again, that's the physical affecting the mental. It happens, it's real, it's a thing. So it doesn't surprise me. What surprises some people though is that the emotions that we have around our everyday life, if not processed, can become stored in the body. And this can affect range of motion, pain, injury, mental state. All these things are connected, they're all one. So that was a little bit more than myofascia, I have to be honest. That took it a little bit more than I was imagining doing. If you take nothing else from this, take that fascia is this amazing substance we have in our body that has been overlooked for far too long. It teaches us that everything is connected, and that by working on one part of our body, we can free up everywhere. Also, work with, not against. Work slowly and gently. The whole maxim that no pain, no gain, I would like you to firmly put in the bin and leave there. thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions at all about fascia, myofascial release, massage, reiki, life coaching, meditation, please do get in contact. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Much love. Bye.